assessment or assessment 2. All right. Can you listen to my voice, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So before we begin, I'm going to check the attendance. So just reply by saying yes if you are already here, okay? All right. Nick Adli Afif.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Muhammad Hafiz Mustaqim. Muhammad Hafiz Mustaqim, are you here? Hafiz Mustaqim is not here. All right. Nurul Anisa.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anawin. Anawin, are you here? Nope. Muhammad Najmi Naim.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Muhammad Saiful Azani.
Yes, sir.
All right. Muhammad Muazzam.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Muhammad Hazlami.
Yes, sir.
All right. Muhammad Zarif Aidit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Muhammad Syahmi bin Muhammad Jailani. Muhammad Syahmi bin Muhammad Jailani. Okay. Never mind. Muhammad Akil. Muhammad Akil is not here as well. Ahmad Imran.
Yes, sir.
All right. Muhammad Adham Syahmi. Muhammad Adham Syahmi is not here as well. Okay. Muhammad Luqman Hakim. Muhammad Luqman Hakim. Okay, never mind. Muhammad Farhan Hakimi. Muhammad Farhan Hakimi. Okay. Ahmad Syahmi. Ahmad Syahmi bin Jamli. Right, that's quite a number actually. Muhammad Al-Hazik. Muhammad Al-Hazik bin Syarani. Okay, Muhammad Hazim. Muhammad Hazim bin Abdul Rahim. Are you here? Alright, Muhammad Solihin.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Muhammad Faris.
Yes, sir.
Alright, Muhammad Haikal Hafiz. Muhammad Haikal Hafiz, are you here? Haikal Hafiz is not here as well. Raja Hafizuddin.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ali Imran.
Yes, sir.
Alright, Nur Hidayah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Wan Nur Faris Iskandar. Wan Nur Faris Iskandar. Abdul Rahman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Nurul Syazwani Izian. Nurul Syazwani Izian, are you
Yes,
here?
sir.
Okay, Jessica.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Alright. Okay, great. So never mind. Okay, I hope that most of your friends who are not here are going to join us as soon as possible afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with all of you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with all of you so that you can have the same view as mine. All right, as you can see on the screen, we are now in week 8. Okay, we are now in week 8. So we are supposed to do or to look at the listening strategies, okay, before you listen, while you listen, and after you have listened to the recording, what are you supposed to do? And then we are going to have a look at the SOP for listening practice, okay, whereby we are going to learn about MCQ here, okay, questions on MCQ, multiple choice question, okay, and then at the same time, you are going to have also question on true or false basis, okay, true or false basis, all right. Inshallah, today, by this session, we are going to have one of the listening activities, okay, to be conducted today so that you can get ready. So for today, all right, for week 8, this is week 7 and week 6, okay, I have asked you to do the activities on history of underground tunnels here, okay, and then lactating cow over here, all right. and also on pass alarm activity here. Okay, it is okay if you have not completed it. Okay, don't worry, because we are going to have a look at one of the examples for the answers for today, and then the rest of the activities you can check later on. I'm going to share the answers in our Telegram group so that you can check whether you got it correct or not. Okay, all right. For week 8, submission of FSET over here, okay, you can ignore this. Okay, I'm carrying it forward to next week. So I'm going to discuss about what you are going to do for FSET or self-access activity 2 afterwards. Okay. All right, tips for listening here. All right, you can listen or you can read it on your own. Basically, it is very straightforward. The same goes with the listening strategies here. Okay. Several learning activities. This is going to be your activity in our second meeting this week, which is on Wednesday. Okay, you just need to click on the link, or maybe I can click on the link so you can have a look at the activity here. All right. So this is on several learning activity. So you can just let me close this thing first. Okay, so B2 listening test is the level that you are acquiring at this moment and towards the end of the semester. So let's say there are several activities on education, accommodation, leisure, tourism, travel, health, the environment, and describing places over here. Okay, right. So let's say if you click on education, okay, the recording is on top here. This is the recording. And then you just need to pick the answers. Okay. Once you have answered all of the question, okay, the marks will be given or shoot to you. So this is going to be your activity for the second meeting, which is on Wednesday from 12 to 1 o'clock. Okay. Is it okay, class?
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. I hope it is very
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Okay, so we are going to do this for today, listening activity 1 afterwards. Okay, listening activity 1. So this is the template, okay, and then you have all of the blanks here. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 until number 20 altogether. Okay, so basically this is going to be the same thing, not exactly the same thing, but this is what you are going to have for your next assessment or assessment 2 afterwards. Okay, next week. So we are going to discuss in detail about your second assessment as well after this. All right. Okay. So now let's have a look at this activity first, which is on lactating cow information transfer. Okay, lactating cow information transfer. All right, how to feed lactating cows. Okay, hopefully you are on the same page with me and you are looking at the same thing. Okay, all right, how to feed lactating cows. Okay, I'm going to switch to my other device and then I'm going to share my screen with all of you. Okay. All right. Class, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Jamboard, right? I'm showing you the Jamboard. Can you see my handwriting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How to feed lactating cows. All right. So if you go through the text, okay, there are 3 paragraphs altogether. So we start with you are the senior assistant in the research and development department. Second paragraph, feeding the lactating cows requires 4 steps, okay, and then you are required to complete the SOP. And once your manager approves, he will send the document. Okay, that will be the text. Okay, and how are you going to transfer the text into the template? So if you look closely at the template, okay, if you look closely at the template, you need to fill in some of the most important information, especially on reference number, the date, the page number, title, department or unit, purpose, who can perform this SOP, personal protective equipment, and the rest. All right? Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here because I couldn't see you actually. Okay, I don't know what went wrong. So I'll just share my screen over here. Okay, all right. So we have 3 paragraphs altogether here. So number 1 here, reference number. So where do we get the information from? Class? If you have done this, can you tell me or can you share with us where do you get the information from? SOP 005/15. Where do you get the information from? Or you have not done it yet? Class?
In paragraph 1 here.
Okay, in the last paragraph, all right? So over here, you are required to complete the SOP, and once your manager approves, he will send the document to Mr. Bhaskaran Raj, your Deputy Director for endorsement. Your deadline is on 1st December 2015, and the reference number for this document is SOP 005/15. So, if it is given to you in the text, okay, then you can refer to the text for the reference number. So, in this case, the reference number is SOP 005/15, and this is the answer. Okay? All right, the date over here, where do we get it? It is also stated in the last paragraph over here, 1st December 2015, and this is how you are supposed to write it. Okay? All right, page number 1 of 3 depends on the procedure or steps that you are going to take or you are going to perform. Okay? So, if it is a very long procedure, so maybe you are going to have more than 3 pages. Okay, so example given here or the answers given here, 1 of 3. Okay, why am I telling you this? Because class, your second assessment, assessment 2A actually, okay, I am referring to assessment 2A, which is reading SOP. This is what you're going to have. Okay, except that the answers are given to you, but you need to choose the correct answer. So it is going to be like multiple choice question for assessment 2A. It's just that you need to transfer the information correctly. Okay, so that is the reason why I am showing you how to get the correct answer for the activity, and the same goes when you are sitting for your next assessment. Okay, the title, Standard Operating Procedures for Feeding Lactating Cows. Remember to use the linkers or the linking word for here. So you must have Standard Operating Procedures. Okay, what is it for? Okay, for feeding lactating cows. So where to get this information? You scroll down or you scroll up to the title of the article there. How to feed lactating cows. Okay, so it is going to be Standard Operating Procedures for feeding lactating cows. Okay, so this is a must because one of the questions in assessment 2A will be like this. Right, one of the questions in the assessment 2A will be like this. Okay, all right. So this SOP has been written for the research and development department. So where do I get the information from? Okay, I scroll back to the text. Okay, the first line in the first paragraph over here, you are the senior assistant in the research and development department. your manager, Mr. Chong Kong Meng, requires you to prepare a SOP on how to feed the lactating cows. So in this context, we know that, all right, okay, you are the senior assistant, all right, and then the department that you are working with is the research and development department. So your manager asks you to prepare the SOP. So you are preparing the SOP for research and development department. Okay, so you need to write it like this. Okay, or if the options are there, A, B, C, and D, you need to choose the correct one. So in this context, this one is going to be the most suitable answer. Okay, all right. So the purpose over here, the purpose for this SOP is to ensure that all general workers and part-timers are well equipped with the knowledge of feeding lactating cows and have the ability to carry out the job efficiently. So where do I get the answer for this? Again, refer to the text. Okay, right. The second line over here in the first paragraph, the purpose is to ensure that all general workers and part-timers are well equipped with the knowledge of feeding lactating cows and have the ability to carry out the job efficiently. So that is the purpose of this SOP. Okay, all right, the purpose of the SOP, you can also get it from the text, okay, because this is called information transfer activity. So you are just transferring information from the text to the template. Okay, who can perform this SOP? As it is stated in the purpose over here, it is meant for general workers and also for part-timers. So these are the two group of people who will be performing the SOP. Okay, general workers and part-timers. Right, personal protective equipment. Okay, gloves, working coats, boots. Where do I get it? Of course, it is from the text over here. Right, please include the last line of it, of the first paragraph. Please include the safety personal protective equipment, which are the gloves, working coats, and boots, and write down the tools in the SOP. So PPE, gloves, working coats, and boots. So straightforward. Okay. All right. For the tools, okay, it is going to be a bit difficult. Okay, because you have to read or you have to go through the procedures carefully. So as it is stated here, the answers are supposed to be TMR mixer, tractor, feeder notebook, and bin. So there are 4 tools that you need for this task. Okay, all right. So where to look at it? Look at the second paragraph over here. Okay, all right. Feeding the lactating cows requires 4 steps: preparing feed bunk, loading mixer, mixing feed, and distributing feed. So it is just not an ordinary mixer. The name is there. Okay, look at the second line or the second sentence or the third one actually. To prepare feed bunk, feed refusals are swept to the end of the feed bunk. Then they are scooped into the TMR mixer. Okay, so this is the first tool that you need to have. Okay, TMR mixer. Then in the feeder notebook, right, in the feeder notebook, the weight is recorded. So you have to write the record, okay, and then you need to have the feeder notebook. So we have 2 tools now, okay, TMR mixer, and then we have the feeder notebook. Okay. After that, at the steer pan, food refusals are distributed in bunk. Next, load the mixer. To do this, the amount of ingredients to mix stated in the feeder notebook is checked. Protein concentrate from bin number 1, so you need to have the bin. But if you notice, in the answer over here, it is stated in plural form, bins, meaning that it is more than 1. Okay, why? Because as you can see over here, bin number 1 is added and IBS is recorded in the feeder notebook. After that, ground corn from bin number 2. So we know now why the answer is in plural form, because there are 2 bins altogether. Okay, it's added and followed by an IBS record in the feeder notebook again. Okay, so let's go to the last part over here. Lastly, in the feeder notebook, the total amount of feed is recorded. In distributing feed, which is the final step, feed is distributed evenly along the entire length of the feed bunk. Again, in feeder notebook, time is recorded. Tractor and mixer are returned to the equipment shed. So as you can see over here, it mentioned the word mixer. So TMR mixer, okay, specific name. And then also on the word tractor. So that is the reason why we have 4 tools all together for this procedure. TMR mixer, tractor, feeder notebook, and bins. Is it clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. For reference materials, okay, we need to write research manuals. Okay, where do we get the information from? Okay, all right. Over here, your reference materials are from the research manuals from your department. Okay, your reference materials are from the research manuals from your department. So for the reference materials, okay, what to write in the blank over there, it is going to be research manuals as it is stated in this activity. Okay, all right. Next will be the procedure. Okay, so as you can see in the second paragraph over here, feeding the lactating cows requires 4 steps. Step number 1, preparing feed bunk. Step number 2, loading mixer. Step number 3, mixing feed. And step number 4, distributing feed. So you have 4, what you call it, 4 steps altogether in lactating cows. Okay, so as you can see the answers over here. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and step number 4. Okay, I'm going to discuss about this using my second device after this. Okay, all right, let's have a look at this part first. Prepared by name and senior assistant. Okay, who is the senior assistant? You, because it is stated in the text over here. In the beginning of it, you are the senior assistant in the research and development department. So you are the senior assistant. So prepared by you, your name, don't forget the signature, and your job title or your designation is the senior assistant. Then your manager, Mr. Chong Kong Meng, requires you to prepare a SOP on how to feed the lactating cows. So reviewed by will be your manager, and his name is Chong Kong Meng. Okay, all right. Last one, approved by. Okay, you look at the end of this paragraph. Okay, the last paragraph. You are required to complete the SOP, and once your manager approves, he will send the document to Mr. Bhaskaran Raj, your deputy director, for endorsement. Okay. One moment, please. All right. So all of the information are given here clearly. So the same goes when you are doing your assessment to A. Please read the instructions carefully. Please read the contents carefully or go through it in detail, okay? Because all of the information will be taken from the text. You just need to transfer it into the answer or the template, okay? And that is the reason why, as you can see over here, all right, prepared by, okay, you can fill your own name, senior assistant. And then reviewed by Chan Kong Ming, okay, the manager. And lastly, approved by Bhaskaran Raj, deputy director. Okay, so this is how you are going to answer the question. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen from this device. I'm going to use my other device to show you how to write or to do this. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. All right, I am now sharing with you how to feed lactating cows. Okay, so let's say if you are required to prepare the SOP in graphical form. Okay, so it is going to be graphic SOP. So how are you going to do it? Okay, how are you going to do it? So let's say there are 4 steps altogether. Step number 1, prepare feed bunk. Step number 2, load mixer. Step number 3, okay, it's going to be mix feed. Then step number 4, distribute feed. So there are 4 steps altogether on how to feed lactating cows. Okay, so let's say if we are using graphic SOP approach, so this is how you are going to write it. Okay, remember you need to arrange the information from left to right. Okay, from left to right. All right, so this is how you're going to arrange the information. All right, okay, then since that it is going to be a graphic SOP, of course you need to have the boxes. Okay, let's say this is box number 1. Okay, this is going to be box number 2. All right, and then box number 3. Okay, and box number 4. All right. Okay, this is going to be box number 4. Okay, so notice that I have the arrow over here. I have the arrow over here to show that you are moving from left to the right. Okay, you are moving from the left to the right. Okay, all right. So let's have a look at the first step, which is prepare feed bunk. Okay, so the first procedure, sweep the feed refusals to the end of the feed bunk. Okay, right. For graphic SOP, you need to include some graphics or images that can support your procedure or your instruction. Okay, so you have the action verb over here, sweep. Okay, this is the action verb. All right, and then what kind of image that you can include? Okay, let's say I'm not good at drawing, but let's give it a try. Okay, you have the broom over here. Okay, this is the broom. So this is to show that you need to sweep something. Okay, and then what is feed bunk? Okay, I'm not sure about feed bunk. Okay, I'm going to show you the example afterwards. Okay, for the feed bunk, so let's say this is the place where you put the feeding items. Okay, so this is the feed bunk. Okay, so you need to have this kind of images. So if you're asking me, sir, do we need to draw it? No, you don't have to draw it. It is not necessarily that you need to draw it, except that, okay, if you couldn't find the images or the graphics in the internet. If that is the case, then if you are good at drawing, then you can draw. Okay, all right. So number 2 here. Okay, step number 2, load mixer. Okay, the first procedure. All right, I'm going to show you the first procedure. Check the amount. Oh no, okay, not the first procedure. It's actually the second procedure. Okay, I am referring to the second procedure. All right, add protein concentrate from bin 1 and record IBS. Okay, IBS in the feeder notebook. So let's say you have the sort of like cattle over here, right? So this is going to be protein concentrate. Okay, all right, and then you're going to put it in the bin. Okay, so this is bin 1, and you need to record it in the feeder notebook. So this is the book. Okay, feeder notebook. All right, so this is the kind of things that you need to do when you are preparing for graphic SOP. Okay, class, is it clear?
Clear, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So how to get the images if you are using the internet? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again here. All right. So let's say we are looking at FitBunk. Okay, we are looking at FitBunk. So this is the FitBunk. All right. So if this is the case, okay, you Google the image and you found that this is the answer to what you are looking for, the FitBunk, then you can copy and use the image in your SOP. But again, remember you need to cite the sources where you have taken the information from, because you are using other people's work. Okay, so you can use it and put it in the SOP, but since that we have copyright issues, you need to mention where do you get or where do you take the information from. Okay, so this is on getting the information regarding the images or the graphics SOP. Okay, all right. So done about that, I'm going to show or share with you the answers for the rest of the information or the activity later on. Okay, I'm going to share it in our Telegram group. Now, I would like you to go to week 8, okay, and download listening activity 1 over here. Listening activity 1 over here. Okay, this is the weekly planner. All right, so over here we have the template, okay, and I'm going to play the recording for all of you. I'm going to play the recording for all of you, and then once you have or let us give it a try first, okay? All right, so just let me know if you can listen to the recording or not. All right, okay. Have you opened the file, class?
Which file again, sir?
Okay, go to Kalam. All right, go to Kalam under week 8. So now we are going to do the listening activity 1. Okay, download the PDF file.
Okay, wait a second.
All right. I give you 1 minute for this activity, okay? Just download the listening activity 1 PDF file first, because we are going to do the listening activity. Done?
Yes. Done, sir.
Okay, all right. So once I'm going to play the recording, I couldn't communicate with you. So if you couldn't listen to the recording and such, all right, go to the chat box in our Google Meet, all right, and then you just type it over there. Okay, so I'm going to type after this. Can you listen to the recording or not? So you can just simply answer yes. Okay, all right. So we can only communicate through the Google Meet chat box over there while we are listening to the recording. So I hope that all of you at this moment are looking at activity 4.9, standard operating procedures, the template. Okay, it is a blank template. So I'm going to play the recording, and as you listen, the recording will be played twice. So as you listen, try to answer all of the questions, okay? So since that it is in PDF, you couldn't write the answers straight away there. You can use a piece of paper and then you can write your answers. There are 20 questions altogether, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? Yes, 20 questions altogether. Okay, so get prepared. And I'm going to start in a jiffy. Okay, all right. So I'm going to ask you later in the chat box if you couldn't listen to the recording.
You are given 1 minute to read the SOP. You will listen to a recording on the procedures of using laboratory notebooks. The recording will be played twice. Listen to the text script carefully. The Chemical Department of the Regional Soil Survey Institute, RSSI, has drawn an SOP on the use of laboratory notebooks to give instruction for proper layout, use, and administration of the laboratory notebooks. This is to guarantee the integrity and retrievability of raw data, calculations, and notes pertaining to laboratory work. Laboratory notebooks may either be issued to persons for personal use or to study projects for common use by participating persons. They are used to write down observations, remarks, calculations, and other actions in connection with the work. They may be used for raw data, but bound pre-printed worksheets are preferable. The notebooks selected for this purpose are bound notebooks with about 100 to 150 consecutively numbered pages. The binding should be intact, one of which cannot be opened. The recommended type is a spiral binding. In addition, both ruled and squared paper can be used. On each page, provisions for dating and signing for entries and signing for verification or inspection may be made. The procedures on the use of laboratory notebooks are as follows. First, issue. Notebooks are issued by or on behalf of the head of laboratory, who keeps a record of the books in circulation. On the cover, the book is marked with an assigned serial number and the name of the user. On the inside of the cover, the head of laboratory writes the date of issue and signs for issue. The user signs the circulation record for receipt. You are given 1 minute to read the SOP. Things should be notebooked and made in ink. The cover, the head of laboratory writes the date of issue and signs for issue. The user signs the circulation record for receipt. Second, use. All entries are dated and made in ink. The person who makes the entry signs per entry in project notebooks or at least per page in personal notebooks. The head of laboratory may inspect or verify entries and pages and may sign for this on the pages concerned. If entries are corrected, this should be lined out with a single line so that it is possible to see what has been corrected. Essential corrections should be initialed, dated, and the reason for correction stated. Pages may not be removed. If necessary, a whole page may be deleted by a diagonal line. Third, withdrawal. In fall, the notebook is exchanged for a new one. The head of laboratory is responsible for proper archiving. Please take note that a notebook belonging to a study project is withdrawn when the study is completed and when an employee leaves the laboratory for another post, he or she should hand in his or her notebook to the head of laboratory. Lastly, the document that can be used for reference is the model page of laboratory notebook, and the two SOPs related to the preparation of this SOP are the administration of SOPs and the preparation of SOPs for special investigations. Fill in the blanks with appropriate answers. You will listen to the text script again. The Chemical Department of the Regional Soil Survey Institute, RSSI, has drawn an SOP on the use of laboratory notebooks to give instruction for proper layout, use, and administration of the laboratory notebooks. This is to guarantee the integrity and retrievability of raw data, calculations, and notes pertaining to laboratory work. Laboratory notebooks may either be issued to persons for personal use or to study projects for common use by participating persons. They are used to write down observations, remarks, calculations, and other actions in connection with the work. They may be used for raw data, but bound pre-printed worksheets are preferable. The notebooks selected for this purpose are bound notebooks with about 100 to 150 consecutively numbered pages. The binding should be intact, one of which cannot be opened. The recommended type is a spiral binding. In addition, both ruled and squared paper can be used. On each page, provisions for dating and signing for entries and signing for verification or inspection may be made. The procedures on the use of laboratory notebooks are as follows. First, issue. Notebooks are issued by or on behalf of the head of laboratory, who keeps a record of the books in circulation. On the cover, the book is marked with an assigned serial number and the name of the user. On the inside of the cover, the head of laboratory writes the date of issue and signs for issue. The user signs the circulation record for receipt. Second, use. All entries are dated and made in ink. The person who makes the entry signs per entry in project notebooks or at least per page in personal notebooks. The head of laboratory may inspect or verify entries and pages and may sign for this on the pages concerned. If entries are corrected, this should be lined out with a single line so that it is possible to see what has been corrected. Essential corrections should be initialed, dated, and the reason for correction stated. Pages may not be removed. If necessary, a whole page may be deleted by a diagonal line. Third, withdrawal. In fall, the notebook is exchanged for a new one. The head of laboratory is responsible for proper archiving. Please take note that a notebook belonging to a study project is withdrawn when the study is completed and when an employee leaves the laboratory for another post, he or she should hand in his or her notebook to the head of laboratory. Lastly, the document that can be used for reference is the model page of laboratory notebook, and the two SOPs related to the preparation of this SOP are the administration of SOPs, and the preparation of SOPs for special investigations. This is the end of the recording. Please check your answers.
Okay, class, can you listen to my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do the second activity. Okay, the second activity, it is still in Kalam. Right, it is still in Kalam listening activity 2 PDF file. Okay, activity 4.10. Okay, download it. I'm going to play the recording afterwards. Okay, and we are going to discuss the answers for that soon. Okay, for activity 4.9, the one that you had done just now, and also the other activity. Okay, right, activity 4.10 or the next activity or listening activity, read the instructions carefully. You are required to fill in the blanks with no more than 5 words for each answer. So the answer should not be written more than 5 words, okay? All right, not more than 5 words. And all answers must be correctly spelled. Okay, so you have to spell the answers correctly. Okay, have you downloaded the question for activity 4.10?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Again, we are going to communicate using the chat box because I'm going to switch to stereo mix. Okay, so if there is any question, just ask me in the chat box. This is for activity 4.10 or the second activity in Kalam. All right, listening activity 2. Good luck, everyone.
You will listen to a recording on the procedures of how to manage waste segregation. The recording will be played twice. Listen to the text script carefully. Nowadays, in offices, waste streams are expected to facilitate recycling in support of the going green notion. In fact, a proper SOP of managing waste segregation is prepared to make certain that all staff and contractors, as well as cleaners, are aware of this procedure. In addition, this SOP has also been included in inductions for new staff and contractors who are expected to work in the agency's office for more than 2 days. The man in charge is the EMS coordinator. He has a big responsibility. Besides ensuring the awareness of this SOP, he is the one who decides the appropriate recycling infrastructure around the office and in the loading dock. He also ensures the contractors collect the waste at the stipulated times. He is the key man in the coordination of monitoring of waste management. Let us now go through the procedures of how to manage waste segregation. Each waste stream has its own separate bin with clear signs and color coding, or in a worm farm as appropriate. Now, this worm farm is located in the kitchenette on each floor, and the cafe operates its own worm farm. Basically, there are general waste bins positioned around the office, but not at each employee's desk. However, they are limited in number. Each employee owns a tray box, or bin for clean paper waste at their desk. The emptying of bins is the cleaner's daily chore. They are the ones who will then segregate the waste by placing them into specially marked bins located in the loading dock for collection purposes. The contractors come to remove waste and deal with it according to contract requirements. Two conditions that will be reported to the EMS coordinator are any significant contamination of waste for recycling or any occurrence of significant recyclable waste in the general waste bin. Lastly, the two associated documents used as references are on SOP for the confidential paper separation and worm farm operation. This is the end of the recording. Listen to the text script once again. You will listen to a recording on the procedures of how to manage waste segregation. Listen to the text script carefully. Nowadays, in offices, waste streams are expected to facilitate recycling in support of the going green notion. In fact, a proper SOP of managing waste segregation is prepared to make certain that all staff and contractors, as well as cleaners, are aware of this procedure. In addition, this SOP has also been included in inductions for new staff and contractors who are expected to work in the agency's office for more than 2 days. The man in charge is the EMS coordinator. He has a big responsibility. Besides ensuring the awareness of this SOP, he is the one who decides the appropriate recycling infrastructure around the office and in the loading dock. He also ensures the contractors collect the waste at the stipulated times. He is the key man in the coordination of monitoring of waste management. Let us now go through the procedures of how to manage waste segregation. Each waste stream has its own separate bin with clear signs and color coding, or in a worm farm as appropriate. Now, this worm farm is located in the kitchenette on each floor, and the cafe operates its own worm farm. Basically, there are general waste bins positioned around the office, but not at each employee's desk. However, they are limited in number. Each employee owns a tray, box, or bin for clean paper waste at their desk. The emptying of bins is the cleaner's daily chore. They are the ones who will then segregate the waste by placing them into specially marked bins located in the loading dock for collection purposes. The contractors come to remove waste and deal with it according to contract requirements. Two conditions that will be reported to the EMS coordinator are any significant contamination of waste for recycling or any occurrence of significant recyclable waste in the general waste bin. Lastly, the two associated documents used as references are on SOP for the confidential paper separation and worm farm operation. This is the end of the recording. Complete the standard operating procedure. Write no more than 5 words for each answer. All answers must be correctly spelled.
Okay, class, I am giving you 5 minutes to double check your answers for activity 1 and activity 2. 5 minutes, okay? Can you listen to my voice, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay, you still have the time to complete the task. After this, we are going to look at the, what we call it, answers for the activities. Okay, class, right. So I'm going to share my screen with all of you. And while I'm going to show you the answers, please go through your answers as well and check whether you got it correct or not. Okay. So this is for activity 1, listening activity 1. Right. And here are the answers for question number 1. Standard operating procedures for using laboratory notebooks. Okay. Then number 2, the answer is Regional Soil Survey Institute. in bracket RSSI. Number 3, the answer is laboratory work. Number 4, model page of laboratory notebook. Number 5, the answer is spiral. Can you get the answers, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So if you miss it, okay, just let me know so that I can go back to the specific question or the answer. Okay, number 6, the answer is paper. Number 7, the answer is verification. I need to make it bigger so that you can see it clearer, okay? Right, number 8, the answer is circulation. Number 9, serial number. Number 10, the answer is sprite. Number 11, the answer is receipt. Number 12, the answer is ink. 13, project. 14, personnel. Okay, not personnel. Number 15, inspect. Number 16, line out. Number 17, diagonal line. Number 18, exchange. Number 19, notebook. Number 20, for administrating SOPs. Got it? Yes, class?
Got it, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So let's move on to the next activity. Okay, here are the answers for the second listening activity. So number 1, for managing waste segregation. Okay, for managing waste segregation. Number 2, the answer is recycling. Number 3, the answer is EMS coordinator. Number 4, the answer is cleaners. Number 5, the answer is loading dock. Number 6, contractors. Number 7, coordination. Number 8, color coding. Number 9, office. Number 10, kitchenette. Number 11, limited. Number 12, desk. Number 13, segregated waste. Okay, remember, not more than 5 words. Number 14, collection purposes. Number 15, contamination. Make sure you spell it correctly as well, okay? Number 16, recyclable. Number 17, inductions. Number 18, 2. Number 19, for separating confidential paper. Number 20, for operating a worm farm. So done with all of the questions. Okay? Okay, class?
Okay, sir.
All right. So now I am sharing with you the cover page for your second self-access activity. Okay, your second self-access activity I've set. So I'm going to give this to you later on, and then you need to hand it in the Google Classroom. So I'm going to create the tab. It will take 1 week starting from today up until next Monday for you to complete this task. Okay, all right, from today until next week. So this is going to be the activity. You need to go to this website, the link, okay? You need to create an account. and do the FSAT 50-minute test. You may do the test as many times as you want within the stipulated time. So within that 50 minutes, okay, you can keep on doing the activity. Then you need to download your official certificate, and you need to submit the soft copy of the certificate together with this cover page in our Google Classroom next Monday. Okay, so there are two things that you need to submit next week. One is going to be the cover page for FSAT, and then the digital certificate that you have generated from the platform. So this is for your second self-access activity. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
All right. Okay, so we have covered on FSAT as well. Now we are going to discuss about your second assessment. Okay, I'm just going to give you some brief information that you need to know regarding your second assessment. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen in my second device here so that I can scribble on it a bit. Okay, all right, so your second assessment, it is going to be two parts. Okay, assessment 2. Okay, it's divided into 2, A and B. Okay, for assessment 2A, it is going to be SOP reading. Okay, SOP reading, and it will be conducted next week. Let me check the date. Okay, so SOP reading, it is going to be centralized. So meaning that you're going to join other sections as well. It will be conducted at one time, which is for 1 hour. Okay, this is about assessment 1A, is assessment 2A, okay? All right, 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right, and it is going to be 8:30 p.m. until 10 p.m. on the 13th of December. So next week, Monday, okay, 8:30 p.m. until 10 p.m., you are going to sit for your assessment 2A, which is SOP reading. Is it clear, class?
Clear, sir.
Okay. For assessment 2B, okay, which is listening, okay, assessment 2B, which is listening. Let me check the question. Wait, assessment 2, assessment 2B. Okay, assessment 2B will be conducted in the second meeting next week, okay, which is our second meeting, 13, 14, and 15. It is going to be on the 15th of December 2021, and it is going to be only for 40 minutes. So we're going to start. Our class will begin at 12. Okay, let's make it 12:10 p.m. and it is going to be until 12:50 p.m. All right. Both of these assessment, okay, it is going to be using Google Form. So it will be conducted online. Okay. So week 9, next week, we are going to have assessment 2A and assessment 2B. Assessment 2A, it is going to be SOP reading, centralized, okay, test, 1 hour 30 minutes, okay, 8:30 p.m. until 10 p.m., 13 December 2021, okay. So assessment 2B, right, both of it, right, both of it will be using Google Form. So assessment 2B, which is SOP listening, okay, SOP listening, all right. It will be conducted for 40 minutes, all right, in our second meeting, which is 15 December 2021, from 12:10 p.m. until 12:50 p.m. Okay, right. So that is about the things that you need to know regarding our listening test. Okay, so let's have a look at what you are going to do for assessment 2A first. Okay, I'm going to share with you the format so that you will know what you are going to do. Okay, so there will be 3 parts. Okay, assessment 2A. Okay, there will be 3 parts: A, B, and C. Right? Okay. Part A, you have to rearrange the information in correct sequence. So part A, you need to rearrange the information. So for part B and part C, it is going to be MCQ, multiple choice question. Okay. All right. And also, okay, plus short answer question. Okay. All right. So it's going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes. So this is for assessment 2A. Okay, we are going to provide you with the Google Form link that consists of the questions and also the multiple choice answers. Okay, over here. So the answers are there. You just need to pick whether it is A or B or C or D. Which one is going to be the most correct answer? Okay, and then in the Google Form, you need to key in your name, your metric number, your section, the lecturer's name, and then the date for the test. Okay, it's going to be on the 13th of December, next Monday. All right, so the total mark for this assessment is going to be 35 marks. Okay, so for part A, you need to read the text. Okay, part A, you read the text. All right, okay. Read the text. All right, and then you rearrange it. Okay, because you have the numbers, so you have to rearrange according to the correct numbers. Okay, and then for part B, okay, for part B, right, you need to read the text and answer question 1 until question 10. Okay, you need to answer all of the question and then choose the correct answer from the options given. So this is going to be MCQ. Okay. All right. And the same goes for part C as well. Okay, part C, question 1 until question 15. Okay, right. So once you have confirmed with all of the answers, then you need to click the submit button. Okay, so part A, you just need to rearrange the information. Okay, for part B, you just need to read the text. Okay, one text only, and then after that, you need to answer the question by having or looking at the options of MCQ. So it can be either A or B or C or D. So you just need to pick the correct answer. Let's say the answer is D, then you're going to tick on D. Okay, this is going to be for part B. All right. Okay, for part C, you are going to have the text as well. Okay, it is going to be different text. Okay, and then after that, you need to answer the questions too. So it's going to be MCQ as well. Okay, and at the same time, you will also have the true or false kind of question. Okay, and then you will also have the fill in the blank question. Okay, for fill in the blank, only one word. Is it clear, class? For assessment 2A?
Clear, sir.
Okay, all right. That is going to be for assessment 2A. Okay, for assessment 2B, okay, let's talk about assessment 2B. We are going to end our class soon, okay? Once I have finished giving you the briefing regarding your assessment, then you will, we are going to disperse, okay? All right? Okay, so it is again divided into 3 parts, okay? Part A, Part B, and Part C. All right? 3 parts. And the total mark for this test is going to be 20 marks. Okay, so there will be 3 recordings played simultaneously, right? And it will be played twice. Okay, so there will be 3 recordings, right? Played simultaneously, meaning that at the same time, and it will be played twice. So you're going to listen to the recording twice. So for part A, it is going to be question 1 until question 10. Okay. For part B and part C, right? Part B and part C, question 1 until question 5. And the same goes over here for part C, question 1 until question 5. Okay. Right. So for part A, it is going to be, wait, let me check. Yeah, MCQ. For part B, it is going to be, okay, A, B, C, or D. Okay, for part A. For part B, it is also going to be MCQ. Right, but the options are only A, or B, or C. Okay, for part C, it is going to be true or false kind of question. Okay, any question regarding the assessment?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, so if you don't have any other question regarding it, I believe that's all from me for our class today. So it is a bit longer class today. It's almost 1 hour and 30 minutes. So thank you very much for joining me. So I'm going to stop the recording now. But before I stop the recording, I need to double check the attendance again. All right, Muhammad Hafiz Mustaqim, are you here? Hafiz Mustaqim, you are not here. Okay, Anawin, not here as well. Muhammad Syahmi bin Muhammad Jailani, nope. Okay. Muhammad Akil bin Kamaluliza, if you couldn't, if your microphone is not working, you can just type in the chat box. Muhammad Akil is not here. Okay, Muhammad Adham Syahmi.
Yes, sir.
Adam Syami, you are here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Number 14, Muhammad Luqman Hakim bin Nawawi. Muhammad Luqman Hakim. Okay, you are not here. Muhammad Farhan Hakimi. Farhan Hakimi bin Abdullah. Okay, never mind. Ahmad Syahmi bin Jamli, are you here? Nope. Muhammad Al-Haziq bin Sya'arani. Okay, never mind. Right, Muhammad Hazim bin Abdul Rahim. Okay, Hazim, you are here. Right. And then Muhammad Haikal Hafiz.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Haikal Hafiz, you are here. Let me double check. Okay. And then number 25, Wan Nur Faris Iskandar. You here? Okay, all right, never mind. All right, class. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for joining the session today. So I'm going to stop the recording now. And then on Wednesday this week, okay, you can just do the listening activities under week 8. Okay, under week 8, SAFA listening activities and MCQ and true false listening exercise, okay, in Kalam. So that will be your activity for the assessment next week. All right. So FSAT, you have until next Monday to complete it. And then the rest of the things are, yeah, I've mentioned about it.